What I understood is that I want to ride in a general sense, you know. Grew up in the mountain and I used to do a lot of skiing, snowboarding, and obviously mountain biking during the summer. I was never very far from Andorra because part of my family is from Ariège, which is like, well, it's at the border, basically. So at least, even when I was young, we used to come from time to time, and it was next door. As a young engineer, at least from my side, coming where I come from, wearing a suit and going to work in big city was out of the question, so I really had two options, and I could have worked for a big car manufacturer, which project was interesting. But when I got the confirmation that I could come to Andorra and enter the cycling industry, it's a no-brainer. Right now we are finishing the design, engineering and the testing, like prototyping of the flagship of the brand, of Privée, the number 5. For the last 3 years roughly, it's not that we disappeared from the radar, but we merged with the Forrestal Group. And it gave us an awesome opportunity to build our own factory for both brands, of course, and with the awesome target to make bikes in Andorra. So here we are, Forrestal Group facility, home of Forrestal and Production Privee bikes, and we are at the metal floor. Where we build an ecosystem to support the whole factory and to make steel and titanium bikes. Behind this new iteration of Shan number 5, there is an extensive work being carried out by our team in CNC, also part of the robotics that goes behind, welding. It's really outstanding the amount of work in a very short amount of time we had to set up all the machinery and the whole factory actually. This is the current version of the number 5. Initially we started with components like this, and from the very beginning we always wanted to go a bit further in terms of product and bring features, and even from the most simplest things. And for example, the artwork, we wanted to be functional. And this is a quick example, but you have the stripes on the stem, the stripe on the handlebar. When you install the handlebar on the stem, the stripes align and your handlebar is centered. Yes, small details like that, and that's the purpose of Production Privee. Trying to bring always a product that is legitimate, that brings something new. It's always been the case, and then we started with the frames and the hardtails. Here we have one of the very first frames that have been produced. That's a bit of the museum. Look at that, it's full of dust. You can see the seat stay are flattened, also the chain stay are flattened. The heat treatment is different from the seat stay to the chain stay, all for the sake of providing better vertical, let's say comfort, sort of vertical grip. DNA of the Shan number 5 come from the hardtail philosophy, which are simple and fun bikes. Simple to ride, simple to understand, simple to maintain. and fun. More importantly, it's fun. It's a bike that has been designed for 90% of the enduro rider. We want to keep the same DNA for the bike. It's really important to keep that simplicity, but obviously we want to increase the performance also. We are in the heart of our welding facility. This is where the most productive processes are happening, and that's Noé that is in charge of it. He's our robot welding engineer. And now we are finishing the last adjustment for tack welding and the refining programs.
So we are here at the production area, and here stands behind me the welding robot. We are using a cold method for welding. With this colder process, you reduce the heated affected zone. So you are keeping basically the maximum mechanical properties of the heat-treated steel tubes. Right now we are working on the industrialization of all the process to make frames in Andorra.
Oh Merlinos! Souris pour la caméra.
Salut, ça va?
Louis, ça va Fabio? So we are in the heart of painting line, which is very warm by this season. Key operating floor here. So here it's where we are preparing the colors and also doing the decaling of the frame prior to clear coating. You can find a lot of the artwork that we are doing for PP, but also Forestal. Actually, we have a full rack prepared to do like color testing, so that gives us a lot of flexibility regarding the range definition, like which kind of colors we are going to implement on which models. So this room is pressurized, so it's made to avoid dust to come inside. All the paintings and our processes are solvent-free. We are using water-based paint, which is obviously good for everybody. We are in the middle of the city. We don't want to contribute to any pollution. By the way, you have titanium frames. This is the Shanti. The frames originally comes with a Scott Bright finish, so it's very shiny, so to speak. And actually, to make the artwork on the frame, we are going to play with textures with sandblasting. So what we do is mask the area that we want to draw, so to speak, and then we sandblast, and we have a very nice finish playing with matte and glossy. The bicycle industry is really driven by marketing. People usually think that steel is a quite very niche product, but I don't think it's quite accurate nor correct. There is the perception of people, but I think it's more like marketing driven for many, many years that stiff and light is good. But for me, at least from the kind of riding that we do, stiff and light doesn't mean it's a good bike. First, you need to talk about geometry, you need to talk about dynamic characteristic. That's first and foremost the most important things. Talking about weight, oh yes, you can shave 100, 200, 300 grams, 400, half a kilo even. But if the bike doesn't have the right geometry, doesn't have the good dynamic characteristics, either in terms of chassis or kinematics or suspension-wise, for example, well, it's a bad, light and stiff bike. It's still a bad bike. Nice. Oh, it's great. I like the volumes. Right now, Björn is going to machine the yoke that's going to be welded between the left and the right side. Yoke is going to be fitted here, okay? And this is the right side, and we are going to weld it. What you're seeing right now is part of the work we are carrying in order to develop and industrialize, which is more important even, the new Shan number 5, the flagship of the brand. It's not a matter of discriminating that material for another, or saying that titanium is the best or carbon is the best. No, it's really the kind of product where you want to reach. The work we've been able to do on the Forestal bikes, for example. Actually, I'm really proud of what we've been able to achieve. But at the opposite, yes, we have another way of thinking about bikes, which is, okay, we can make a bike with this kind of material because we are digging into more that direction. And I think PP in that aspect answers a lot of needs that some rider or customer might have want. Yes. So we are in the QC area, and here we have two different bikes, one Forestal, one PP, and it's the perfect opportunity to explain a little bit the different philosophies that lives under the same roof, which is awesome. You have Forestal, that is the premium brand, technologically oriented, pedal assisted. You cannot get any better at the market at the moment. You have the benefit of the powerful e-bike with the normal analog bike. And here you have the perfect example of a concept developed to its maximum with a carbon light chassis, it's a very effective suspension, the powertrain co-developed by us, the electronic developed internally. This kind of philosophy and this kind of product, or at least the way to design it, is also translatable into a different kind of product. And that's what we are doing with PP also, since more than 10 years now. This is a bike that is focused on the quality of riding more than anything and being more practical. We wanted simplicity, easy to maintain, easy to understand, predictable. The chassis needs to provide a very comfortable, confident ride. And it needs to fit the riding that we are doing here in our home, which are the Pyrenees. We took the challenge of designing the frame with the right flex and many other features. These two concepts of the bike are pushed to the limit, and that's what we are doing here at Forestal Group. We had the visit of Pao, our designer, and he made some great proposals. I think we've seen 5. We selected 3, and it's quite fun. Some are like super nice and sober, but there is one I really want to see the result because it can be quite outstanding.
One of the most interesting things about Production Privee is creating the paintings. It all comes from a background of racing. Damien was always Porsche lover, so he was showing us many different cars that he loved, and it was easy to get the inspiration from that. The chosen theme was the Porsche 934 Vaillant, okay, that it's from the 1976 because it was quite iconic, this car. And we generated a different treatment from what was used on the bike, but it's real recognizable and it looks fresh. La la. Qué chula, ¿no? This is what I was expecting. The colors are bright. We're gonna do some changes for mass production because creating these paintings for one frame, it can be possible, but mass production is a whole lot different world. But it looks fresh or not?
For the new generation of Shan number 5, we are looking at basically making upgrades from a very good basis that the actual number 5 was. It means a more refinement in terms of performance and looks. Still the custom-made tubing, upgraded, made on purpose, and also a very new fancy swing arm, which I hope everybody's going to like it. That's our third iteration, and that's going to be a really big leap. Of course, in terms of performance, but also, more importantly, made here in Andorra. It's a major feature, but for the benefit of the product and the rider. Things are getting like really interesting. We are testing our mass production tools, refining processes, and now it's a matter of a few months before we start mass production for the new platform, the new number 5. I like the aspect of creating, believing in the product that you're creating, and trying to share that passion. I think it's more related to that, because you have a passion, you ride bikes or whatever is the vehicle, so to speak, and you want to create something and share it with people. That's what it is. That was like the main goal.